Welcome to Indianapolis. The NFL on CBS continues with the Titans taking on the Colts. And for the first time since 2002, Indianapolis comes into the final game of the regular season, having to win to get in. Coming into the final week with not a playoff berth secured. They can do it today. Hello, friends. Jim Nance along with Bill Sims. And again, the Titans and Colts about to engage in a very important game. A Colts victory would put them in the 3 slot, and they would be hosting the Jets next week, a rematch of last year's AFC title game. What about Indianapolis and Tennessee today?
Well, I think you look at Indianapolis and you go, they've had to win the last 3 weeks. They got it done. Now think about the core of their football team. You have Peyton Manning, Jeff Saturday in front of him, Reggie Wayne outside, and the 2 guys on the defensive side, Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis. Those are some veterans that you can count on in a big moment like this. We'll see if they can lead their team to victory.
McAfee will be kicking off. Tennessee won the flip and wants the football. Mariani back there, the rookie from Montana, who was named to the Pro Bowl this week, is the deep returner. Indianapolis would also get in with a loss coupled with a Jacksonville loss down in Houston. And Mariani is knocked back by Triplett near the 20, just a 21-yard run back. Here comes Kerry Collins, who turned 38 on Thursday, and just last week surpassed 40,000 yards passing in his career. Just the 12th player in NFL history to eclipse 40,000 yards passing. 16-year man out of Penn State. His quarterback coach in college was Jim Caldwell, the Colts head coach who he faces today. They start with Kevin Matthews, a rookie center. His first start snapping it to Collins. Collins tosses it to Chris Johnson for a gain of 4, hammered quickly by Anger. Chris Johnson, 3rd in the NFL, coming into the week in rushing, but did not get named to the Pro Bowl, and he wasn't happy about it. Said he thought it was bogus. And he thought he was a lock to make it, but he didn't. All right, 2nd down and 6, and look at this. They're going to go Wildcat with Damian Williams, the rookie out of USC. Takes the snap, keeps it. First time they've seen that formation all season long, and Williams takes it for about 5, setting up 3rd and 1. 2nd snap of the game, Phil, and they go Wildcat.
Well, I think it's while you're looking at this Tennessee football team, Jim, they know they have to take some chances to beat the Colts, and they got to take those chances on the offensive side. They need big plays. They know no matter how they play defense today, Peyton Manning is going to score probably in the 20s. So that's just a little wrinkle that the Colts have not seen this year, and good job by Tennessee.
And something Tennessee had not run all year. Collins back in, tosses it to Johnson, 3rd and 1, and he is pushed back. The Colts stop him. Lacey comes up at the line of scrimmage, and it'll be an opening 3 and out for the Titans. Robert Mathis also in on the play.
Something came to us last night. We were talking to Jeff Fisher, and one of the first things he talked about, he goes, wow, watching the Colts defense, they've got their speed back. In other words, they're confident in what they are doing. They have defined the roles, and it's made their players faster.
Brett Kern into punt to Blair White. Fair catch, 27-yard line. Peyton Manning and the Colts, they've won 3 straight. That win streak began down in Nashville on a Thursday night, December the 9th. They were 6-6 after a loss to Dallas. They basically had to win out. They knew it at that point. And here they come in with a chance to lock down the division today. Saturday, of course, that outstanding combination through the years. Saturday and Manning, what a battery. And Tammy coming in this season, November 1st, taking over for the injured Dallas Clark. Has 60 catches on the season and more receptions than any tight end since he took over the position. They send Blair White to the right. Day wide to the left, and Manning out of the gun is going to take just the 16th sack of the season. In over 630 pass plays, only the 16th time he's been dropped. 7-yard loss.
From the outside, Stephen Tulloch comes through there. You got everybody, nobody in the backfield or a tight end to help Peyton Manning out there in blocking. And the Tennessee Titans, reading between the lines, I think they'll take some chances on the defensive side today, too.
Second down, 17, and Manning has Reggie Wayne, who gets back the yardage lost on the sack. And that's his 103rd catch of the year. The Tennessee defense last week allowed Matt Castle over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. We talked with Tuffick last night. He was anxious to come out here and prove that he had something to play for. And Finnegan in that secondary for the Titans. They'll face Manning here on a 3rd and 10. As you see Jacob Ford digging in.
Well, they showed the blitz early, and they come with it.
Manning has to roll out, now throw it over the head, and it's caught. Maybe not intended for him, but Garcon has it. Looked at first like it was going to Blair White, but there it was. Pierre Garcon for 15.
So many people are coming on the blitz, there's no way they can pick it up. And Peyton Manning does the right thing. He moves out of the pocket. I believe he was throwing it down the field to Garcon the whole way. But as you see that replay, it's a little tight. Yeah, his eye level was definitely to the outside. But the Titans showed blitz.
On first down, quick toss. Picks up about 4. That is Blair White, the rookie from Michigan State, undrafted this year, and 33rd catch of the season. Take us through it, Phil.
Well, this play, you're going to see the Raiders last week showed blitz. Peyton Manning saw it. He says, let's change the play, and he throws it outside. A lot like we just saw on that first 3rd down by the Tennessee defense.
Reggie Wayne has a first down. A couple of quick tosses by Manning right off the snap. Second catch for Wayne on this opening series. Good for 10.
Anytime you play a defense that has a defensive line that you're worried about, what you would with the Tennessee Titans, they can rush the passer. That's all they're really worried about. You need plays to slow them down. Screen's a great way.
Now from the
he thinks it's another blitz. And it is.
First run of the game is a dive. Maybe able to squeeze out a yard. This has been a very effective running game the last 2 weeks for the Colts, including a season-high 191 on the ground last week at Oakland.
You know, a lot of teams very good at stopping the run. The Colts are, the last couple of weeks, Jim, you were talking about it. They ran the football on because when you're playing Peyton Manning, you go ahead, run it a few times. We'll take our chances on 3rd down.
Second down and 9. Take the run this time and go back over to Wayne, who has Finnegan all over him. But that is a catch, and it looks like it's enough for a first down, and that's a new career high. 105 catches on the season for Wayne.
Well, everybody's up in there tight. Cortland Finnegan one-on-one with Reggie Wayne. The coverage, it's excellent, but it's a perfect throw, and it's a tough catch. Reggie Wayne, though, he's made a lot of them. Catches it cleanly.
Just the 11th player to have back-to-back 100-yard catches seasons as a dive burst ahead for about 7, maybe 8. We've got an update. We go back to James Brown in New York.
Jim and Phil, NFL leading rusher Arian Foster. Boy, talk about starting off strong. Take a look here on 3rd and 1. A 56-yard run by Mr. Foster sets up a 2-yard TD run by him. 7-0 Houston. You know, Jacksonville needs to win to get in. Jim and Phil.
Well, the Jags, of
False
course,
start,
short-handed
offense.
today.
Number 84, 5-yard penalty. It's 2nd down.
Ed Hockley in his 19th year. Jacksonville needing to win that game, needing a Tennessee victory here, but Jags going without Garrard and Jones-Drew. And there is Jim Caldwell trying to take his team to the playoffs for, 2 for 2 start to his career as the head coach here in Indianapolis. Took him to the Super Bowl last year, beat the Jets in the AFC title game. A victory here today, and they'll see the Jets next weekend in the wild card round. 2nd and 7. Getting away from Ford, and Manning slides and throws incomplete at the knees of Blair White.
Well, I think we can see right away that this is first drive that the Tennessee Titans, they want, of course, everybody wants to pressure Peyton Manning, but the coverage is tight. They're being aggressive. And listen, when you're playing a team like the Colts, who you know can score, but their defense is tough, you got to take chances. We're seeing that already by the Titans defense.
Colts bring in Donald Brown, 3rd down and 7. Jennings going for the long ball. And it's incomplete. Intended for Garcon, broken up by Jason McCourty.
McCourty, excellent coverage going down the field. Pressure up front. Again, one-on-one to the outside. And the Colts, they love this because so many teams play him the opposite way. They make him throw all the short passes. You keep this type of technique against them, sooner or later they're going to hit a couple.
This from 48 yards would equal his season-long. Vinatieri, who's made 14 straight, has not missed since the first week of October. And Vinatieri from 48, it's a beauty. And it's good. Dead center. 3-0 Colts, first quarter. You can build your own football dynasty and compete year-round with CBSSports.com franchise football. Find out more at CBSSports.com/franchise. Colts get 3 on their opening drive of the game. Mariani, the only player in the league this year with a kickoff return and a punt return for touchdowns. And the first player in this franchise history to do so since the old Houston Oilers days and Billy White Shoes Johnson. And here he cuts to the outside. Mariani. Tryon has the angle. He's able to touch him out of bounds. An impressive run back of 47 yards. Sets up the Titans near midfield. Back at Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis. Jim Nantz, Bill Sims on the scene. And Titans' second possession begins at the 46. With 2 tight ends, Stevens and Cook. And they'll run it with Chris Johnson, able to slip out of an early hit, but a flag comes down after a gain of about maybe a yard.
Tackle by 53, Cavell Connor.
There was no foul on the play. The block was from the side, not the back. It's second down.
Well, that Tennessee offensive line again with a first-time starter, Kevin Matthews, who was undrafted out of Texas A&M this year, brought up from the practice squad just a couple of weeks ago when the son of Hall of Famer Bruce Matthews, he gets the start. And Chris Johnson's had more 100-yard rushing games than any player in the league with 8. That's Hall taking the pass from Collins and still fighting for first down yardage and about a half yard short. Gain of 9. This Indianapolis defense that's given up over 24 points a game. That's the most by the Colts per game since 2001. Although they send back Freeney and Mathis to the Pro Bowl. Tryon starts again today for Hayden, who's out with a neck injury. And Bethea back there in the secondary as well. Third down, less than a yard to go. Collins keeps and drives forward for the first. All right, what do you see with the Titans' philosophy today, Phil?
Well, I think we talked about already, Jim. They need some big plays. Last week against Kansas City, Gary Collins looked down the middle of the field, the receivers covered. Then he finds Kenny Britt deep down the middle, hits him for a touchdown. They're hoping, Jeff Fisher told us, we're hoping to get that kind of protection so we can air it out and get some of those big pass plays down the field.
On first down from the Colts 44. Johnson for about 2. Now, we have not seen Randy Moss in the game in what could very possibly be, who knows, the last game of his career.
But I think for a while, I think everybody now has given up. Where's Randy Moss? We need to see him in this offense. And Jeff Fisher said, look, Randy Moss came down here. He looked at this number 18 in front of him, Kenny Britt, and went, wow, this guy's really good. So they understand. He understands why it's hard to get in there, but I think the Titans would like to, they're going to give him a chance, I think, today to get in, maybe catch a couple passes.
Of course, it's been quite an odyssey this year for Moss. Began with New England, went to Minnesota, and then cut and picked up here November the 3rd. Johnson keeps his balance. Quickly up on him was Lacey, a gain of 3. Of course, in that Moss career, these numbers are staggering. Tied for the second most all-time touchdown receptions in the history of the game with Terrell Owens. Controversial figure, but it's a Hall of Fame career when you look at the numbers.
Oh, yeah, there's no question. Hall of Fame career just for what he meant to offenses, for what he made the defense do, Jim, not just the catches.
Third down for the Titans, residing at the Indianapolis 38. Collins zips it, and it's caught by Damian Williams, who ran that Wildcat earlier. That picks up 7, and it's enough for a first.
Yeah, Damian Williams, little stacked formation. But the big thing in this play is Dwight Freeney on the outside, getting blocked. Michael Ruse on him well. He didn't block him long that time. Passes that the Titans have thrown so far, the tackles have held out pretty well against Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis.
So a first down, Colts 32. Johnson. Quickness, cut around the corner and make a nice gain out of it. Good for 6.
I think always when you, Jim, you know, of course we know Johnson's so fast, but when you play the Indianapolis Colts, Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis, everybody kind of has the same game plan. Double team them when you want to throw the football down the field, and when you know you're going to throw it quick, then you let your tackles block them one-on-one.
The 2 Pro Bowlers, the 2 ends with 20 combined sacks on the season. It's a 2nd and 4. Collins protected, fires it, got it at the 10. Kenny Britt. Good for 17, and that's the young man, 2nd year out of Rutgers, their 1st-round pick a year ago. You said when Moss came in here, he saw the talent that this player had right here.
Yeah, you have to. He's got size, speed, can catch the football easily. Kerry Collins, he's thrown for over 40,000 yards in the NFL. Says Kenny Britt is as good as any wide receiver I've ever played with.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Collins' career through Carolina and New Orleans, Giants in Oakland, been with Tennessee since 06. 1st and goal to go, and dragged down by Antonio Johnson. That is Chris Johnson for a yard.
One of the reasons why this Indianapolis defense has gotten so much better against the run. Number 99 just fights off the block, comes down the line of scrimmage. Boy, just athletic. But you look at it, it's Moala and it's Antonio Johnson, those 2 guys inside getting it done.
Antonio Johnson, who came into the league as a 5th-round pick of the Titans back in 07 out of Mississippi State. On 2nd and goal. Good play action, gonna throw it away. Double coverage back there in the back of the end zone.
Well, it was a good time to throw the football. It was a good fake by Kerry Collins. But the fact is, so many things change when you play in this building. So only 2 receivers went out, 4 defensive backs. They didn't catch that Indianapolis defense off guard enough.
A 3rd and goal coming up from the 8. Javon Ringer is the running back flanking Kerry Collins. Throws this one over the head of Jared Cook. And they'll come out and try to match the Vinatieri field goal with Rob Baronis.
That was a good decision by Kerry Collins. And you got a split second to make it. Do I try to stick one in there? And he thought about it. Nobody open. Throw it away.
There you see it. The best field goal percentage in the league this year. He's missed only once. 22 of 23, and he's made his last 18. And this is a short one. 26 yards, Rob Baronis. Game is tied at 3-3. First quarter, Indianapolis. Take advantage of Mariani's 47-yard kickoff return. Sets up a field goal drive for them. 12-play drive it was.
It's just another factor of the game you have to pay attention to today, Jim. If I was the Indianapolis Colts, we heard nothing from the Titans. But if I was the Colts, I would be on high alert on every special team occasion. In other words, here's a kickoff, be looking for the onside kick. Look for the fake punts, the fake field goals.
You saw Dominique Rhodes swaying back at the goal line. Just recently signed, December the 7th. Third different time in his career that the Colts had brought him here. Of course, he had a huge game in that Super Bowl victory. Chases it down in the corner. Here comes Rhodes. Rhodes knocked down by Damian Williams at the 15. Sun is shining late in the day, capital city of Indiana. The Indianapolis Colts from Tennessee battle here late first quarter with Manning to Garcon for 5. Now, I tell you, Kansas City losing today to Oakland would really be something here for the Colts, because with a win, they would get off the New England side of the bracket. They move up to the 3 seed. And in theory, not have to see the Patriots till an AFC title game if it works out that way. As a guy runs off the right side, squeezes through a flag down. He was close to the first down, but what about that with the Colts maybe being the 3 instead of the 4 now?
Well, I think for the matchup,
Illegal hands to the face, defense number 93. 5-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
I think once it's all over, Jim, when the day is over, and the Colts, if they win, they get in the playoffs, they'll look at it and they will go, wow, okay. So all we got to do is, well, if we keep winning, we get a chance maybe to go to New England and take them on in the championship game. I think that always goes through the minds and the players and coaches, even though they won't admit it, they look.
It would be a procedure penalty. It would be the championship game instead of the divisional
Full
week.
start, offense number 66, 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Colts today, though, trying to do something that Tom Landry directed the Cowboys to back from 75 through 83. Tie the all-time NFL record for consecutive years in the postseason. This would be 9 if they get in. Back in those Landry, Staubach, golden years. Colts also going for 9 straight years with double-digit wins. And the short throw complete to Jacob Tamme for 6.
So I look at this Colts offense, just watching it the last few weeks. More formations, doing a lot of different stuff, trying to help the receivers, things that they haven't done in the past. But the injuries, they've made a few adjustments and they've worked well.
From the 32 on 2nd and 9. And that's Reggie Wayne pushed back by Finnegan. And a spotted a yard shy of the first. 3rd and 1 coming up. Now there you go. There's Tom Landry and his 9 consecutive playoff berths. And Peyton today with a win, or if the Jacksonville loss, would be 9 consecutive, tying the record. I mentioned Roger Staubach. Danny White was quarterback for a portion of that 9-year span for the Cowboys. But 1 Super Bowl win in that 9-year run. 3rd and a yard. Throw for it. Not going to get it. Now there's a flag. At the last minute, thrown on McCourty. It was intended for Garcon.
Pass interference, defense number 55. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
So it's on Tulloch, not McCourty, and that's the 2nd first down via penalty here in the opening quarter for the Colts. You know, talking to Tulloch last night, what did the Titans come in and play for? They're at 6 and 9. They've lost 7 of the last 8. Phil, he talked about how you're always being evaluated. Even if you're not playing for a playoff berth, you're on film.
Oh, absolutely. And I think he knows that, especially guys in the last year of their contracts.
Addae for a couple. Joseph Addae, who was out 8 games this season with a neck injury, and getting healthy here just in time for a run to the playoffs. They're trying to accomplish today. They've gone through 1 quarter here at Lucas Oil Stadium. 3-3. You're watching the NFL on CBS. At the 2nd quarter in Indianapolis, Jim Nance, Phil Simms. There's Peyton Manning, who with his passing yardage in that first quarter sits at precisely 4,500 yards on the season. Second down and 8. He's got more yardage with Tammy taking it to the Tennessee side down to the 35. Jacob Ford running after him. Gain of 18.
There's just not many blitzes you could throw at the Colts that they haven't seen before. They send the blitz. They have Jacob Ford dropping back in coverage, trying to get the receiver that comes across it. But Tammy, the one thing that Jim Caldwell told us about him, that he's just faster than everybody thinks, and he gets open when given the opportunity.
Here's Rhodes getting an opportunity with his first carry, and he spins for only about a yard. We do have an update on the Jaguar game. James Brown, it's yours.
Jim and Phil, we know Jacksonville needs a win and an Indy loss to get to the postseason, but it's the Texans taking the lead here. Rashard Jennings' 3-yard TD run puts the Texans on top, 10-7 over Jacksonville. Back to Jim Nantz and Phil Simms.
All right, so the Jags were down 10-0. They trim it to 3 with that touchdown. Second down and 9, and Manning steps away from the pressure, throws it, end zone, incomplete for Garcon. Broken up by Jason McCourty.
Yeah, Jason McCourty plays it perfectly. Watches the receivers, then he notices it's coming, turns, looks for it, and plays it so well. Then he turns to the official and says, hey, how about offensive pass interference?
Well, his brother, of course, is Jason, is in his second year out of Rutgers here for the Titans, but his brother Devin has had a sensational rookie season for New England, made the Pro Bowl, probably would be the defensive rookie of the year if it wasn't for Ndamukong Suh. Third down and 9. That's Garcon. McCourty has him wrapped up short of the first. And the Colts look to the sideline, looking in the direction of Vinatieri. Do they go for it, or they go for another 3? They're going to go field goal.
I think when you have Adam Vinatieri indoors here, that a lot of these decisions are a lot easier to make. 44-yard field goal for him indoors is probably equivalent to about a 35-yarder.
Well, he's now 29 of 30 all time in this stadium. 29 of 30. He makes this will be his 100th with the Colts, and he drills it as you said he would, Phil, from 44. A man who won a couple of Super Bowls for the Patriots. Came over here a few years back. That's his 100th made field goal, now in a Colts uniform. 6-3. No touchdowns so far in this game at Lucas Oil Stadium. A pair of field goals by Adam Vinatieri. This last one coming after a 10-play drive. He doesn't handle the kickoff chores, though. That belongs to their punter, McAfee. Mariani had the 47-yard run back on his last kick return, which set up the Titan field goal. It's a big boot, midway end zone, and a touchback. So 13-13 to go first half, 6-3. The new team takes the field tomorrow morning on CBS. Erica Hill, Chris Raggi, Jeff Glor, Marisol Castro. The early show, the new early show premieres tomorrow here on CBS. First down for the Titans from the 20. It's over the head of Britt Tryon coming up to cover.
You know, Justin Tryon, even though he's a reserve, plays very aggressive on the outside, always watches the quarterback. But you know, when you look at the Tennessee Titans and you play here, you have to change your defense. And when you're in a division, you think of the Titans, they build their team a certain way, but you have to have a different game plan and a different way of thinking when you come up here indoors and play this Colts team.
Second down and 10. Sidestepping the first hit, but not the second. Antonio Johnson wrestles down Chris Johnson for a loss of 2. Now, what about the Jags and the Texans? James Brown, another update.
Hey, Jim, Jacksonville needs a win and an Indy loss in order to make it to the postseason, but they find themselves down by 10 as Derek Ward takes it 35 yards to pay dirt. It is now 17-7 Houston. That in the second. Back to Jim Nantz and Phil Simms.
All right, JB, took them only 5 plays to cover 74 yards, and Texans back up by 10. That's good news for the Colts. Third down and 12. They give Collins the time, and look at Britt climb up for that one. Wow. With Buffet covering him 22 yards, and Britt showing some pretty strong moves right here.
To the outside, Justin Tryon makes him readjust his route. Antoine Buffet is in position to make the play, but Kenny Britt just goes over the top and gets it done. Dwight Freeney can't get to the quarterback. Double team to start to rush. Once you can make a rusher stop when they have to restart, the offensive lineman, of course, the advantage goes to him.
2 catches for Britt for 39 yards. His injury midseason really hurtful for a Titan squad that started 5-2 with a lot of promise. As Collins guns it, and it's another completion to Britt to the Indianapolis side at the 44-yard line.
With so many teams, when they play the Titans, most teams, they worry about Chris Johnson in the running game. So that means Kenny Britt's going to be running down the field with single coverage. This is zone coverage, but the sharp route, and again, we talked about it, the speed and the size. When you put them together, you have a chance for greatness.
Another 17 yards to Britt.
And the other big key, throwing on first down.
They run it this time on first down with Johnson. And he dives for about 3. You know, Jeff Fisher, this is a story that's been brewing since the rift with the coach and the quarterback Vince Young midseason. What's going to happen? What is his future for the longest tenured coach in the NFL? Will this franchise decide its future is in Fisher or in Vince Young? Vince Young on IR, not here.
Well, Jeff Fisher told us last night that he thinks that everything will be resolved here pretty quickly when this game is over.
2nd down and 7. And they're in on Johnson. Shakes off 2 hits, but Tryon gets back on his feet to take him down. He had the first play on him and the last, and it lost 6.
Into the short side. You always have to be careful. You're on the left hash. Watch him come off the wide receiver, Justin Tryon, and just destroy the play. You know, I was going to say, when you play the Indianapolis Colts, you got to act like you're in the Canadian Football League. You try to get it all done on 1st and 2nd down. Because on 3rd down, you got 2 of the best pass rushers in the NFL with crowd noise.
Randy Moss comes in for the first time to the near side on 3rd down. And a timeout called by the Titans. 3rd and 13 coming up out of the timeout. And the MetLife Blimp teaming up with CBS, the NFL and CBS all season long with the aerial coverage of downtown Indianapolis and Lucas Oil Stadium, where the Super Bowl will be held, next year's edition, 13 months away. 3rd down, 13. They've already converted a 3rd and 12 on this drive. Collins, pump fake, and connects on the pass. Cornelius Brown defending on Damian Williams and keeps him about 2 yards shy of the first. Now they had Moss on the field, and during the timeout they took him out of the lineup. The 4th and 1 coming up.
I think Jeff Fisher, long field goal, knows what he's up against. Doesn't want to keep kicking field goals. Good opportunity to go for the first down. Try to get a touchdown, and if you get the first down, you shorten the game. Keep Peyton Manning on the bench. I like this decision.
4th and a yard. And they've got the first with Britt, who's having a big drive. This series has been all about Collins to Kenny Britt.
Well, it's a little secret around the NFL, and fans, they don't know, because, you know, unless your team is winning and you're doing spectacular things, whatever, nobody's going to talk about. Simple route. Running back goes to the outside. It opens it up for Kenny Britt. And again, such a big target, especially in a crucial situation in this building on 4th down.
65 of the team's 110 yards. And first down outside with Johnson, and tripped up. Nice tackle by Gary Brackett, and it's update time. James Brown has it.
Back-to-back turnovers. The Giants, Eli Manning threw his 25th pick of the season, but the Redskins strip sacked there by O.C. Umenyiora. Loose ball recovered by the Giants. It's 3-0 Giants. Giants clinch a playoff spot with a win and a Packers loss. Right now, Green Bay and Chicago scoreless. They're in Green Bay. Back to Jim Nantz and Phil Simms.
Of course, Tampa still has a breath of a chance at both. Green Bay and the Giants go down to defeat. Moss back in, 2nd down and 9, and there is Hall. 2nd catch out of the backfield. And look at all the helmets on him at the 25, led by Cavell Connor, the rookie out of Clemson. Just a gain of 1.
The speed is back. There's no doubt about it when you watch this Colts defense. They're fooled. You know, Kerry Collins with a play action fake. The defense is retreating. Nobody open deep. 1, 2, 3. Here, oh my gosh. 7 defenders in the frame before the runner goes down.
That pass was only good for a yard, but it gives Collins now 99 yards, and with that 1 yard, he moved past Johnny Unitas for 11th on the NFL all-time pass yardage list. And he's going for the big ball here to the end zone, and it's broken up. It was Kenny Britt in the end zone, tangling with Justin Tryon, and a nice play by the 3rd-year defensive back out of Arizona State.
Yeah, basically double coverage against Kenny Britt. Kenny Tryon, excellent job of staying outside, knowing he had help inside, turns, watch the receiver's eyes, watch his hands. When they go up, you know the football's coming. That's what he did.
Rob Baronis looking for his 2nd made field goal. This one will be a 42-yard attempt. The man who back in December of 06 kicked a winning 60-yard field goal at home to beat the Colts. This from 42, and he and Vinatieri are each perfect in 2 attempts. 6-6, 2nd quarter. 12 plays, 56 yards, Baronis and a field goal. A couple of long drives, both resulting in 3. Kenny Britt and Collins teaming up for the bulk of that work, and there's Rhodes ready to run it from the goal line. Given the chance, and they led the UFL in rushing this year. Able to take it to about the 22. That's it. 22-yard run back. Curran on the tackle. 6:41 to go first half. Back here in Indianapolis, where the Colts are pursuing a 7th division title in 8 years. They'll have it with a win or with a Jacksonville loss. Dominique Rhodes, nice piece of running for about 7, maybe 8. So Colts with the victory would be the 3 seed and would host the Jets next weekend. However, they could also get in with the Jacksonville loss. And the Jags are currently down 7 now to the Houston Texans. 2nd down and 2. Jacksonville wins the division with an Indy loss and a victory over Houston. Another carry for Rhodes. Good piece of running. Slides through a little hole. Takes it out to the 42. Kyle Devan really helped clear it for 12.
Well, Dominique Rhodes, they bring him back, and Jim Caldwell says we like his running style. A little jerky, he likes to dart. Of course, he's got a lot of experience. He has good vision. Brings a lot of energy to this Indianapolis team and the running offense.
3rd straight carry for the man who played for the Florida Tuskers in the UFL and led the league in rushing this season. Let's go to New York.
Hey, Jim, Jacksonville narrows the deficit to the Texans to 7 when Mike Thomas of Jacksonville, a 17-yard run that set up a Josh Scobie 39-yard field goal. It's 17-10 Houston. Back to Jim Nantz, Phil Simms.
Here we've got a 2nd and 8. Fake the 4th straight carry by Rhodes and throw it, and coming back for it's Garcon. Now where will they mark this one? Yeah, they'll give him the forward progress. The catch made past the 1st down yardage, gain of 9, and a 1st down at the Tennessee 47.
Again, it's McCourty on the coverage to the outside. Oh my gosh, he is in perfect position. If it's thrown up the field at all, he's going to have a chance for the interception.
4th catch of the game for Garcon. Ooh, not this time. Not this time for Rhodes. as Jason Jones makes the tackle, and we got another update from James.
Hey, Jim, Chicago 3rd and goal from the 4. Take a look. Cutler looking for the end zone. Sacked by Green Bay's Eric Walden. That sets up a 30-yard field goal by Robbie Gould. 3-0 Bears. Giants need a win and a Packers loss. Right now, 3-0 in that one. Jim Nance, Phil Simms.
All right, here Manning on the short throw to Wayne down to the 41 and a gain of 6.
You know, part of any offense, I think, in the National Football League, now you have to be able to do what you see the coach do every now and then. Those wide receiver screens. Get it out there quick, block one guy and see if they can cut up the field and get easy yards. That really takes place of outside running plays for your offense.
Go! Come on, let's go!
It's been 3rd and 4. The guy goes into a slot to the left.
That might be against Tennessee. Jacob Ford in the neutral zone.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 78 came into the neutral zone and caused the offensive reaction. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
And now the 3rd time Tennessee has gifted a first down to the Colts.
When you're trying to play pressure defense, you've got to wait. They were coming after Peyton Manning that time, and everybody gets revved up. He's excellent at using his snap count. Well, to keep you off balance, he'll make you sit in there.
Gives them a new set of downs. Tennessee 36. This game opened with Tennessee 3 and out on a punt. And since that time, we've had 4 straight drives leading to a field goal as Garcon on the slant for 5.
Colts moving down. 3rd time they've had the football. They've got 2 field goals, and they're moving it again. But, Jim, it's worked. Tennessee is playing the receivers tight. They're daring them to throw it down the field. Peyton Manning has thrown it down the field quite a few times. No results.
2nd and 5. That's enough for a first down. Joseph Adai has it. And we have another update from James in New York.
Jim, as you well know, the Giants need a win and a Packers loss to get into the postseason. Eli Manning hooking up here with tight end Kevin Ball's 24 yards. That sets up a 2-yard TD run by Brandon Jacobs. 10-0 Giants over the Redskins. Back to Jim Nance and Phil Simms.
All right, JB, they have both sides of it at the moment. They're leading, and Green Bay is down a field goal early. 1st and 10, and the pass caught by Blair White at the 10. And pushed out of bounds at the 7. He beat Alteron Burner, the rookie from UCLA.
This is a terrific throw. This is about the 3rd time today Peyton Manning has just made such a pinpoint accurate throw. The defense can do nothing about it. But once again, Burner all over the receiver.
I'm going to take it to the 2-minute warning. With 1st and goal coming up for Manning and the Colts. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Coming out of the 2-minute warning, Jim Nance, Bill Simms, and the Colts have 1st and goal at the 7. Trying to put up the game's first touchdown. The pass to Wayne, to the end zone, and a touchdown. Garcon and Blair White lined up over there and just made it an easy little 7-yard stride for Reggie Wayne and the touchdown.
First time today they've done the bunch route to the right. A couple keys. The quick snap count, the perfect throw by Manning, and look at that. Nobody can even get in position to touch him before he goes into the end zone.
Boy, that is impressive the way that White and Garcon led the way, wasn't it?
They're great at the wide receiver screens. Not good, they're great.
Vinatieri, his 50th extra point of the season, 50 for 50. We finally have a touchdown on the board. Colts lead at 13-6. Coming up, the Sprint halftime report. JB directs it. Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher will take you through what's happened so far. All the scenarios, the scores, the highlights coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Look who just moved past Raymond Berry in franchise history. Career touchdowns. 69 on his career, 6th of the season. And on that drive also, Peyton Manning established a new single-season high in his career for yards thrown in a season. Now approaching 4,600. Titans will have 2 timeouts. 1:55 on the clock. And Mariani will get a chance to run this one back. But not for long. Good piece of coverage down there by Nate Triplett. College basketball next Saturday. The UConn Huskies of Gino Auriemma. Well, they had that loss this week, that magnificent streak coming to an end. But the Huskies, the Lady Huskies, will be taking on Notre Dame, and then Ohio State and Iowa coming up next weekend here on CBS Sports.
Well, you want to score on offense. You know you need to do that to beat this Indianapolis Colts team. But also what you try to do is limit possessions to Peyton Manning. This is one of those opportunities. The Colts have 3 timeouts. You need to get a first down to make sure they don't get the football back.
Ringer, Javon Ringer, able to bang out about 6. Timeout called by Tennessee. We're back. Tennessee was not given the timeout, and then it's a pass thrown to Cook. So a gain of 5 and good for a first.
Tennessee's thinking about running out the clock. That's your first objective. The Indianapolis Colts, if they get the opportunity, they'll call these timeouts to give Peyton one more shot.
Jeff Fisher, if he somehow pulled out a win here today, would tie Tony Dungy on the all-time win list at 19th all-time. Collins to Ringer. Gain of
Now
6.
Tennessee should call timeout.
Yeah, with 36 seconds, make it 35. And the Titans have 1 left. Playoff scenarios coming up from Studio 43 in New York. 2nd down and 3. Tennessee down 7. And that's out of bounds. Britt with Bethea on the coverage.
Well, I think as this game goes along, a couple things, especially from the Tennessee offense. Kerry Collins getting more and more time to throw the football. So it has to give them confidence. And what it does, it should change your way of thinking when you call these plays, especially on first down, where you have a much better chance in the second half of getting the football down the field.
With 29 seconds. And a 3rd and 3. Better be careful. It's going to be delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5 yards. It's 3rd down.
Jeff Fisher has taken the Titans to 6 playoff appearances, including a Super Bowl appearance back in the winter of 2000. Trying to play the spoiler role today. It's 3rd and 8. Collins has the time, has the target, has the first down to the 49 of Indianapolis with Jared Cook.
Timeout.
18-yard gain and a final timeout utilized by the Titans. Baronis with that huge leg. Career long of 60. I mentioned earlier came in a game-winning situation against the Colts back in 2006. Jacksonville, by the way, has just pulled even with Houston on a Trent Edwards touchdown throw. Collins incomplete with 15 seconds.
I'll tell you, I would have thought about running the football there. Any type of run, get a few yards, but because I said it earlier, Baronis in this building, I think 60 yards, 65 yards is definitely in his range. I mean, I watched him kick it from 60 in warm-ups, and it was no work at all.
Of course, you talk 65, you'd be talking record.
I know.
Be talking Tom Dempsey and Jason Elam.
But now with no timeouts, I don't know if you could throw it inside, complete it, and still get up, line up, and kill the clock.
Their NFL record of 63. Collins, open man. And it's Cook again. Out of bounds at the 43. With about 8 seconds, and that would be about a 61-yard try if the next pass is incomplete and they decide to go ahead, go field goal.
Well, it was an excellent read by Kerry Collins.
Here's the one we talked about, the 60-yarder that defeated Indianapolis. Of course, Scobie got him this year from 59, talking about Indianapolis. That one by Baronis was in the Super Bowl title year for Indianapolis in the end. 3rd and 4. And throwing it away. And we will see Baronis come out here and try one we expect from 61.
Number 2, Ron Baronis, into attempt.
Which would be 2 yards short of the all-time record. It'd be a personal best.
That was a good job by the Tennessee Titans offense in that situation just to get a field goal attempt.
61 yards it is. Baronis hammers it, and not long enough and wide, and Bethay's going to run it out. Oh, what a pancake, and Bethay is taken off. If he cuts back middle, he might be gone. We've got a flag down. Being chased, he's running out of gas, and dropped at the 8-yard line. Flag down anyway, time is out. Bethay got winded in the end.
There's a flag on the field.
How about Craig Stevens, the tight end, able to chase down a corner? I tell you, Fisher ran over there and congratulated and thanked his tight end for the effort. That was Ken Amato, the snapper, who got splattered on a block.
During the return, there was an illegal blindside block by the receiving team, number 58. By rule, the half is over.
They were attempting what would have been the 4th longest field goal ever made in league history. This is Brackett on Amato.
Yep, it's a blindside hit. It's a rule. It's it is helmet to helmet.
It was helmet to helmet. The other notable thing, though, on this return was the effort by Craig Stevens, the tight end, lumbering down there, not knowing there's a flag down, and thinking he's saving a touchdown and chasing down a winded Antoine Bethay.
That's the first thing that should come to your mind when you're kicking a long field goal like that, that you know if you miss it, you must cover because it can be returned, which we just saw.
Fisher is still out at midfield, discussing it. Say, wait a minute, there's an illegal.
It's not a defensive penalty.
Right.
Indianapolis had control of the ball, so it's an offensive penalty. That's why there's not one more play. The kick, though, is hooked and short. Then coming down the field, oh boy, just a vicious hit by Gary Brackett.
At this point, when he cuts back middle, you'd think he's gone, but watch 88.
It's good. The second field goal from the 10-yard line. It's worth $300.
All right, it's been explained to Jeff Fisher. He trots in, down 7. Sprint halftime coming up. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Tennessee will be kicking to Indianapolis to start the 3rd quarter with the Colts leading 13-6. Let's take a look at the Droid Pro play presented by Motorola. The game's only touchdown. Manning to Wayne, and leading the way out front, Blair White, Pierre Garçon, enabling Wayne to go in untouched in a 13-6 lead. So Dominic Rhodes will be returning the second half kick. I mentioned he was in the UFL this year, where his team, the Florida Tuskers, lost in the championship game to Jim Fossil's Las Vegas Locomotives. And how about being back in the league and making a contribution again? It's Rhodes out to the 22-yard line. All right, Phil, your take here on the first half and what we're about to see here in the second half.
Well, I think for the Tennessee Titans, you know, they played kind of the way they hoped the game would go. Only 3 possessions for each team. But for the Indianapolis Colts, Peyton Manning, very efficient and making a lot of tough throws on third downs to keep those drives going.
You keep talking about those windows he's throwing to. There's not a whole lot of room there. The passes have to be so precise.
You know what? They are. This Colts offense, I've said it many times, so diverse.
All right, first down carry by a dive for 2. Chris Johnson, how about this? 9 rushes, 5 yards. This falls right in line with what the Colts defense has been doing against the rush the last couple of weeks. Manning 15 of 18. You know, they had faced 2 of the top rushers in the league, the Indy defense, with Jones, Drew, and then McFadden, and shut them down the last 2. Manning hit when he throws it. Tammy upended by Tryon, gain of 5. It'll be 3rd and about 3.
You know, you look at this Colts offense, what a job getting rid of the football by Peyton Manning. Moving around, looking everywhere, and as he's going down, sees somebody, sees a window, sees a color, and just gets rid of it. Tammy in the right spot again.
That was Sinderic Marks, who got a hit on Peyton right on the release. He's had only 1 sack, talking about Peyton in his last 76 pass plays, and that 1 sack actually came on the Colts' first snap of the game today.
Tennessee still have some defensive plays that they have not shown him yet.
3rd and 3, open man Garcon, and he dropped it. He'd run away from Cortland Finnegan, and Garcon, he should have had that one for a huge gain.
Well, what happens is they get in these formations, these bunch formations, and defenders having a hard time figuring out, okay, who's got who when they release off the line of scrimmage, and that's what happened to the Tennessee Titans. The receivers release, Garcon's uncovered. They fail to connect.
McAfee into punt for the first time. The Colts had 3 possessions in that first half and scored on all 3 of them. This one was a 3-and-out. Mariani backs away from it, and Taj Smith downs it after a punt of 35 yards. 13-6, third quarter underway. Back here in Indianapolis, and look at the state capitol. It's always very alive and active downtown area that plays host to so many big events in the world of sports. First and 10, they set up screen trying to get to Hall. Unable to break free from the pack, and it's 2nd and 10 on the way.
Well, let's go back. First, look at the bunch formation, top of your screen, and then when the play starts, Pierre Garcon just goes up the sideline, and the Tennessee Titans get confused on who's going to cover who. Well, boy, they've run 3 plays out of it today. One was the screen for the touchdown. They ran the football one time, and that time they explode, go deep down the field, a chance for a big play missed.
And Garcon still stewing about that missed opportunity. 2nd and 10. And look at Collins. Wide open, Nate Washington pulls it in at the 26 of the Colts.
The pass protection, 2nd down. Nate Washington, number 85, is going to come from top all the way across. And they clear it out with Kenny Britt. Oh, I had him backwards, sorry. Nate Washington was at the bottom.
And picked up 38 yards. That's the longest play of the game for either side. From the 27, Johnson smothered and a loss of a yard. Now 10 carries for 4 yards.
As you look at the first half stats, you see Chris Johnson having no success running the football. And as I look at it and I see the game, throw it to open up the running hose for Chris Johnson later.
How about that hit by Cavell Connor, the rookie?
I think the pattern's been set, and it's just, I look at it and just go, wow, it might be an opportunity missed.
Back into the lineup. Lined up to the left, Randy Moss. 2nd down and 11. They look to the right side. Cook has it. And Lacey has hold of him. Out of bounds at the 21. Have you ever seen anybody stop Chris Johnson to this degree? 10 carries, 4 yards.
Maybe not to this degree, but this year it's been much tougher for him to run the football. And, you know, a lot of times your running game gets going because the other team is fearing your passing attack.
Of course, he is third in the league coming in, had 8 100-yard games, had 111 against Indianapolis in their first encounter 4 weeks ago. 3rd and 4. Going to Britt. He's able to shake free, and he's got it for the touchdown. He was able to get away from Jacob Lacey, and the extra point would tie it at 13. 21-yard touchdown. Collins to Britt.
Well, first off, tremendous protection. Oh, nice little move. When you have the blitz, the defenders expect a short pass, and Kenny Britt did a wonderful job of acting, stood, looked back on the short route, then took off. Too hard for Lacey to cover that.
They had 2 plays over 20 yards on the drive. The big one, the 38 yards to Nate Washington, then the 21-yard touchdown. Collins to Britt. And again, Indianapolis needs to win to take the division or a Jacksonville loss. So their playoff future is on the line. They're tied here. Jacksonville is down only 3. It's getting interesting. Phil, it's the first year the league went to all divisional games week 17, and really a big part of the reason why they did that, to try to make these games more important, have to play them out, was because what the Colts have been doing in recent years. Last year exploding to that 14-0 start, then backing off the last 2 games, which they lost, yet still won their division by 7 games last year.
Well, if they were up by 7 this year, Jim, of course they wouldn't be playing, even though it's a division game, but it makes sense. It's where you can make up the most ground. Play your division rivals.
Of course, now they've got a quarter and a half to go to try to win this division, this AFC South. A few things were sorted out earlier today in the 1 o'clock Eastern time window. The Falcons locked down the #1 seed, took the division, took the 1 seed, stampeding the Panthers. And Pittsburgh won its division, the AFC North, and the #2 seed and a first-round bye. And then how about the Raiders over the Chiefs? The Raiders end up 8-8. And they go 6-0 in their division. You win out in your division and you don't make the playoffs. Now you see how they line up right now. Kansas City's only slotted in front of Indianapolis at the moment because they're in at 10-6. Indy comes in this game at 9-6. And that is Donald Brown for about 5. However, if the Colts win this game to match the Chiefs' record, they would go ahead and get the 3 seed because they beat the Chiefs head-to-head earlier this year. Here's how the NFC lines up, with Atlanta in the 1 spot. Philadelphia locked in as a 2, or as a 3. St. Louis and Seattle going to play for the NFC West tonight. It's Manning. Incomplete. And a flag. Finnegan a little too tight on Reggie Wayne.
Pass interference, defense, number 31. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Well, it was a blitz by the Tennessee Titans defense. And Cortland Finnegan, bottom of your screen, he's in really good position, but I can't imagine what it's like. But when the football was in the air, he panicked a little and got on the back of Reggie Wayne.
It was a 12-yard penalty. Donald Brown zigs and zags to the outside, all of that for a couple. On flags are coming in from anywhere, raining down after the end of that play. Jason Babin saying, wait a minute, what's this all about?
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness defense, number 95. Long after the whistles, 15 yards, first down.
Big one on William Hayes.
I was just getting ready to say the Tennessee Titans in such good position, putting pressure. Well, I guess the whistle is blown, and William Hayes, yes, keeps going.
He just had to prove he could do it.
Yep, and that's a personal foul. When you hear the whistle, they'll give you a little gray area there, but that was way past the gray area.
Moves the Colts to the Tennessee 43. Play action fake, had to step up and incomplete. Titans were in on Manning in a hurry, including William Hayes again, incomplete to Donald Brown.
Well, they're definitely getting pressure on Peyton Manning today, and it's making him hurry. He's done a wonderful job of stepping up in the pocket. And people, you know, say things, especially after last week's run against the Oakland Raiders. He is nimble, he is fast in the pocket. That's why he has all those throwing yards. Hard, almost impossible to sack, and doesn't take a lot of big hits either.
Second down and 10.
You know, the Titans are showing that blitz. They want him to change the play.
Donald Brown. And rides it down with Jacob Ford, gain of 3.
Well, when you look at this Colts offense, Donald Brown, you know, we've seen Dominique Rhodes, Joseph Adai came back last week. He looked fast, fresh, which is always a good thing for a skilled player. Wide receiver, running back, man, when their legs are fresh, they can take advantage of it.
Whereas Rhodes had 98 yards last week against the Raiders.
Rhodes is the thumper. He'll run in there and just look for contact if he has to get that extra yard or two.
Adai is the running back on 3rd and 7. Caught, bobbled for a moment, but hanging on for the first down is Blair White. Gain of 10.
Well, they're getting good pressure. There's no doubt about it. But if you're going to do that, coming across the field, you'll see him. There he comes. You got to be tight on the receivers. You cannot let Peyton Manning or any quarterback throw the short passes if you're trying to put the pressure on him like that. Make him hold it a little longer, throw it down the field.
Manning going for the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. Pierre Garçon.
Well, they've been uptight, putting the pressure on him all day at the wide receivers and Peyton Manning. Boy, I didn't even see him take such a big hit. McCourty's in good position. I don't think he picked the football up until it was too late. Another perfect throw, too.
Jason Babin, Phil, was the one who decked Peyton after he threw it.
Well, he came, what he did, he went to the inside instead of coming outside. Caught him off guard.
A drive aided by 27 yards and Tennessee penalties. Manning's second touchdown throw of the game. 399 touchdown passes now on his remarkable career. If you thought the fantasy season was over, it's not. Play NFL.com playoff challenge today. You can win a trip to next season's Super Bowl right here in Indianapolis. Sign up for free at NFL.com/fantasy or search NFL playoff challenge. The Colts lead this game for the 4th time. The game's been tied at 3, at 6, at 13, and now Indianapolis back in front by 7. McAfee sends it to the goal line. Mariani hops past the first wave and takes it to the 30. Well, Garçon had 1 drop, but they came back with a similar pattern for 6 later on. Terry Collins and the Tennessee Titans from the 30-yard line. Drove it last time for a touchdown, and this is the best run of the day by far for Chris Johnson. Weaving all over the place for about 12.
Well, when you decide you're going to put pressure and play these receivers tight down the field, you're going to have success. But I'll say this, even after a little failure throwing at Peyton Manning, always looking for the big play and right on target to Pierre Garçon.
Boy, look how many times he went to that play. Do you think he knew it eventually he could get it?
Absolutely. They'll just keep throwing it. You dare him to, he'll do it.
After a 12-yard run by Johnson, and on first down, just a little dump off now to Chris. And he's decked at the 49. Picks up 7. We've got another update. James Brown, busy afternoon. Back to you.
Jim, Giants trying to help their own cause to get into the postseason. Eli Manning hooking up here with Mario Manningham, connecting for the longest pass play for New York in 39 years. That's 92 yards to pay dirt. It's a 17-7 Giants lead. Giants need to win, and the Packers lost to clinch a playoff spot. Back to Jim Nance.
Well, it's working their way so far. Bears clinging to a 3-0 third quarter lead up in Green Bay. 2nd down and 3 for the Titans. Rushing off the hip. Johnson now decides to cut back for the first. Just darted through a little opening and a new set of downs. Run of 4.
No, this defense of the Colts, they have gotten, I told you about the inside defenders. That time you saw Antonio Johnson, but look at the rally. Everybody coming downhill. A couple guys that really stick out to me. Gary Brackett, the middle linebacker, number 58. And then Jim Caldwell told us Antoine Bethea, number 41, the safety. Anytime you have a safety that's playing really well, that's going to show up in run defense.
Moss to the left, Moss the target, and he makes the catch. He holds on.
Did he get his feet down?
Yes, they rule it a catch at the 29. Justin Tryon defending.
Remember, there's no force out. Nice route by Randy Moss. Gets a clear release.
Did he get the feet down?
I never saw his feet down.
Might be a challenge flag. And there it is. Caldwell says, hold on a minute, don't snap it quite yet.
Well, that's good. That's the coaches upstairs spotting it and not waiting.
Indianapolis is challenging the ruling on the field that the pass was complete.
Moss had not been a target since the 4th quarter of a game back on December the 5th. 139 Collins pass throws again since he was last targeted. Did he get both feet down? Ed Hockley's already taken a look at it.
The ruling on the field stands as called. There is no evidence that both feet did not nick the ground when the player had possession of the ball. Indianapolis is charged with a timeout. The ruling stands.
Picks up 18 yards, just the 6th catch as a Titan since signing November the 3rd.
Well, watch Randy Moss's feet. There's no question the left one is in. It's going to kick up the pellets, but the right one, as you see, that shot there, you cannot say that it did not hit the ground. And even from this view, we thought we saw some pellets come underneath his right foot too.
It's Chris Johnson taking the handle here. Picks up 5 yards. Now look at this young man, this young lad here.
Oh yeah, he's giving him all the information there. Yeah, that's it.
Christopher Sims.
Well, just like in my house, he's got all the answers. But that was a big play. Nice catch by Randy Moss to hold on to it too after the big hit.
He's still out there, lined up to the right, 2nd down and 5. Johnson gets past Brackett. Brackett comes back in on him along with Eric Foster. No gain. Update time. New York bound we are.
Jim, Houston making life difficult for Jacksonville when they cap a 10-play, 97-yard drive when Matt Schaub hooks up with Owen Daniels, a 5-yard strike. It is now a 10-point lead by Houston, 27-17 over Jacksonville late in the 3rd. Jim Nance.
All right, JB, and again a Houston win would give the division to Indianapolis, and they're not paying any attention to that game. That's what they told you this week.
Jim Caldwell said, we will not know the score. No scoreboard watching.
3rd down play for the Titans. And there's a catch by Williams on the ground for the 1st down. Gain of 6.
Yeah, and this Damian Williams getting him in there, rookie. Doing a good job fast. Hope he helps out in the return game. But Kerry Collins under pressure. There's a reason why he's thrown for over 40,000 yards. He can throw it down the field when he gets time, but when he's under pressure, he's able to actually go backwards and still make throws and get them on target.
Kenny Britt, we saw after he caught the touchdown, was getting some attention on his left leg on the sideline. We're seeing a lot of Moss now in this next series. 1st and 10 and Johnson. And this has been Chris Johnson's best single drive of the game. That goes for 3.
Well, Kenny Britt here. Oh, as he looked inside, that is an awesome shot. And that's what happens to the corners, I think, every once in a while here in Indianapolis. They love to look back and see what that quarterback is doing. And you know why they do it? Is because they know the pass rush is going to get to the quarterback here. So they can take some chances.
Britt remains on the sideline on 2nd and 7. Collins 3 yards shy of 100 in this quarter. He's got time. He's got his man. It's Chris Johnson in for the touchdown. Titans an extra point away from tying this for the 4th time today.
How about the pass protection once again? And Kerry Collins looks to his right. He keeps looking, nothing, and okay, he knows where his outlet receiver is. Now the defense is expanded, so once you make that defense expand a little, you're going to have a hard time tackling Chris Johnson in space.
Chris Johnson's first touchdown reception of the season, 12 overall. They got a new snapper out there, Matthews in for Amato, who was injured on that last play of the first half. So Collins directs him down the field. He's got 2 touchdown throws in the quarter, and it's 20-20 in Indianapolis. Thanks to our friends at MetLife, the MetLife Blimp, with the aerial coverage here over the Hoosier State. You've been with us all season long with the NFL on CBS. How about those 2 drives by the Titans in the 3rd quarter, both resulting in touchdowns?
Yeah, it's impressive, the throws, the catches, but what really sets it apart is the pass blocking. These 2 tackles, Michael Roos and Dave Stewart, they can just get it done. Of course, they have Craig Stevens release out to the side, that helps, but look at this. Everybody pushed Kerry Collins with a lot of space. Now it makes you feel comfortable. And a quarterback that has space and not worried, they're going to make good decisions, no doubt about it.
One wiggle, and he was past Aaron Francisco to tie the game. Again, Indianapolis, with a win, takes the AFC South for the 7th time in 8 years. Would also move into the 3rd position in the AFC seedings and would host the New York Jets next weekend in what would be a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game right here at Lucas Oil Stadium. But Jacksonville, if it can come back from 10 down, overtake Houston, and get some help here from the Titans, the Jags would take the AFC South. Pretty feisty effort by the Titans, so a lot of people said, what are they playing for? They've lost 7 of the last 8.
Well, I think that's just part of it. A lot of people said they quit last week in Kansas City. A lot of players upset over that. So was the coach.
Baronis angles this one, and it's going to set up the Colts at the 40-yard line.
Illegally kick off out of bounds. The ball will be paced at the 40-yard line. First down, Indianapolis.
See you Wednesday night, Phil. Congratulations on big season inside the NFL. All-time ratings. JP, Chris, Warren, you. Mike Lombardi, the inside information man who knows a lot about what's going around this league, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's a great GM.
That's right. That's why he's there. He's supposed to know a lot. But yeah, he's terrific. Everybody is. A lot of fun to do it.
Good luck with the next show, Wednesday on Showtime.
But the kickoff out of bounds, Peyton Manning, 40-yard line. The coaches couldn't even react to it.
Titans get back. And a dime. Hops out to the 44, gain of 4. William Hayes on the tackle.
So, you know, I'm watching all this, and I say to Jim Caldwell, I said, wow, Joseph Adai just looks like he looks faster than everybody else. And Jim Caldwell says, that's because he is. He believes in the fresh legs. He says, sometimes you give up preparation to keep the skilled athletes fresh. And Joseph Adai, of course, being injured, not out there, I think it really shows, especially last week watching against the Raiders.
2nd down and 6. That's a nice cut, but there waiting for him is Chris Hope. Holds him to a 3-yard gain. We've got an update on the Bears and the Packers. James Brown has it.
As you know, Green Bay win, and they are in. But in fact, on 3rd and goal, to Tommy Harris of the Bears sacking Aaron Rodgers, they have to settle for a field goal. It's all knotted at 3 in Green Bay. Meanwhile, the Giants can clinch a playoff spot with a win and a Packers loss. They miss a 39-yarder, maintain a 10-point lead over the Skins. Jim Nance.
All right, James, back to a guy on 3rd and 3, and he's riding some Titans with him near the first down. Get right on that 50-yard line, and he'll have it.
Well, the Titans talking about this too. I think all teams here in the last 4 or 5 weeks playing the Colts, a new wrinkle to the offense. 3rd, 3, and 4. You got to be alert. It's not always about Peyton Manning. They'll run the football. And the good thing is that Peyton Manning likes what he sees up front. Even if it is a pass, he changes the run to get it done.
And the throw here, it's Tammy with a flag down. That would have lost about 6. Hope comes up, makes a nice play.
That's illegal. It took so long for it to happen. It has to be a lineman downfield.
Ineligible receiver downfield by the offense, number 66. The penalty is declined. Brings up 2nd down.
But I will say this, that was a terrific imitation of Joe Cap by Peyton Manning, the old jump pass.
Yeah, old number 11.
66, the left guard, Kyle DeVan pulls out, gets down the field.
Used to see a lot more of that. I don't know how often you did it as number 11.
Shoot, man, you jump. Usually what comes next is pain.
2nd down, 16. And White bobbles it dangerously near Cortland Finnegan on the rebound, incomplete.
That happened to him a lot during that losing streak. That ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Still stays on target somehow, but then Blair White kicks it up.
It was Marks who deflected. There's an incompletion to Tammy, but there is a flag.
Illegal shift, offense number 85, never got set. The penalty is declined. Brings up 4th down.
So the Colts unable to take advantage of the out-of-bounds kickoff and the excellent starting position. McAfee to punt for the 2nd time in the quarter and for the game. Mariani, who had a punt return for a touchdown against Washington, comes up for it at the 25 and a fair catch. 31-yard punt. Yeah, the last time the Colts did not make the playoffs was 2001. Jim Mora was the Indianapolis coach that year.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
They were 6-10 that year, and they were in the AFC East. Another interesting thing, we'll know the opponent's schedule for all the teams in the league after today. If Indianapolis wins the division, they will yet see New England yet another year. They've got a schedule of first-place teams meeting again. If that's the case, they seem to can't shake each other in the regular season, and maybe they'll even be seeing each other this postseason. Run of 5 for Chris Johnson.
Well, the Tennessee Titans, they have this Indianapolis defense. What they have done, they have slowed it down. You know, they lost a little confidence, giving up some plays, so it's hard to be attacked when you're thinking, okay, what's coming next? I think the Titans have to take advantage of it.
2 drives in this quarter, 2 touchdowns, both passes from Collins, who on 2nd and 5 finds Cook. Jared Cook looking good, the 2nd-year man out of USC who had his first career touchdown last week at Kansas City.
Well, Kerry Collins, one of the big keys to today's game on this touchdown throw, on both touchdown throws, and then the long ones down the field. Just the space, which is always important. Of course, the extra time that space allows him. I've said it many times, a terrific thrower of the football.
Moss in the huddle to Collins' left and will be sent to the far side as Kenny Britt remains out since scoring that touchdown and apparently injuring his left leg. Johnson not able to shake free. That is Eric Foster coming up to make the play for a loss of 2.
Just not fooled this time. They did not have the right guys in there either. You want to run draw plays when Robert Mathis and Dwight Freeney are in there because they're looking to go outside and get to the quarterback.
Foster, another Bill Polian find, undrafted 3 years ago out of Rutgers, and a big contributor on that defensive front.
And the middle linebacker, undrafted, I think, Gary Brackett, also from Rutgers.
Absolutely. Second down, Collins to Cook.
Collins pass complete to 89, Jared Cook.
Gives him 6.
Gain of 6 yards on the play.
The ruling in the field is the pass was incomplete.
Oh, they've changed it now. Incomplete, the call on the field. His back heel was out of bounds.
Yeah, excellent call.
It'll mean 3rd and 12 instead of 3rd and 6. Last snap of the quarter. To Hall, and he tumbles to the 41, well short of a first. Gained only 5. It'll be 4th and 7 when we begin the 4th quarter with this game tied at 20, and you're watching the NFL on CBS. Peyton Manning with a couple of touchdown passes. Is he going to be playoff bound again? Touchdown throw to Wayne in the first half. Garcon in the 3rd quarter. Kerry Collins has matched him, though, with a couple of touchdown tosses, and we've got a good one going here. 2020 going to the 4th. Tennessee will be punting to begin it. Jim Nantz, Phil Simms here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Brett Kern will get the snap from Matthews. A new snapper. That was nearly blocked by Ty Smith. And it goes out of bounds near the 25. There's Bill Polian, the masterful executive. He almost retired the trophy for Executive of the Year in the league. What Mr. Polian's done, and you talk about all those undrafted players, and they have 6 guys out here today who were undrafted this year who were on the roster. They've had 72 players this season dress for games.
Yeah, he drafted Kerry Collins first round when he was with the Carolina Panthers. Bill Polian did.
Yes, he did. He brought him into the league with the 5th pick back in '95, and of course later on he drafted Peyton Manning, who hands it to a guy for 3 yards.
I said for years, why aren't more teams following the script that the Indianapolis Colts have tried to build here? And, let their quarterback be the focus of it. And many teams and coaches say, nah, I can't let my quarterback have that kind of power. Well, times have changed. Now, more and more teams believing in the quarterback, put more focus on them, and let them be more in charge.
That last carry was by Rhodes, not a die, and it's Rhodes again for about 3. Dominique Rhodes, the only running back in Super Bowl history to rush for 100 yards and not start the game.
Well, I know he's happy to be back here, and the Colts are happy to have him back. Jim Caldwell says, before you see him, you hear him, because he's always talking, and he's the life of really the life of the team. All the teammates very happy he was re-signed and back running the football again for him.
He's had 2 consecutive carries, managing 6 yards. 3rd and 4, and that is not complete. So the Titans, with Chris Hope on the back of Tammy, are able to keep the Colts offense off the field. A 3 and out, in fact, for 2 straight series.
Well, the couple things, the pressure on Peyton Manning, but Chris Hope, here he comes, fights his way around the receiver and the defender to get in there to knock that football away. Excellent job by number 24, Chris Hope.
McAfee.
Beautiful.
Is his best of the day. Serious hang time. Mariani does a little twist off the catch. The spin move gives him some time. before he's swarmed under by Anger. 49-yard punt, 5-yard run back, Titan ball, game tied. We're back here in Indianapolis, and what's been a good one. Tennessee Titans running game has been controlled, although it's started to percolate a little bit here in the second half with Chris Johnson. Hollins has to duck under. Looked like one of his own players fell on top of him. Cook. That's Cornelius Brown coming in from the secondary, though, along with Dwight Freeney, and that sets him back 10 yards.
Yeah, that's what happens. It's Cornelius Brown, number 39 from the outside. And looks like he just kind of catches him off guard.
I think we got to give Jared Cook, the tight end, a half a sack here, too, of his own player.
And also, with that blitz, Dwight Freeney able to loop around, and he was smoking up in the inside to get a sack, even if Brown was not there.
Kenny Britt, we hear now it's a groin injury, still not on the field. 2nd and 20, they go run outside, Johnson. And look at Buffet, back him up with Lacey aiding the cause. Holds him to a 3-yard gain.
Well, Jeff Fisher running down the sideline goes, why is that not a personal foul? The whistle is blown, and my running back is still taken to the ground.
But Fisher saying, wait a minute, you called that earlier on William Hayes, who did not let up on a tackle. What about Buffet?
I'll give the Colts credit. Their offense has been stopped twice. The game is starting to get where you got to make a play, and they didn't sit back hoping that the Tennessee Titans would make a mistake. They attacked. Screen pass, Johnson.
Hops a bit. That's a little skip step. Takes it to the 27. It'll be 4th down. We got an update. James Brown on Jacksonville.
Jim Nantz, Arian Foster doing his job to dim Jacksonville's hopes. He's got 21 carries, 152 yards in the day, and 2 touchdowns. This one, a 35-yard romp to pay dirt to make it 34-17 Houston over Jacksonville in the 4th. Jim Nantz, Phil Simms.
Well, that one not quite over, but again, Jacksonville has to win to have a chance. Now, if they lose and the Colts lose here, in other words, back into the playoffs, the Colts would be the 4 seed and Kansas City the 3, which would mean the Colts would be on the New England side of the bracket and likely or possibly meet in the divisional round. Little see-through down to the field where the Colts are at the line of scrimmage at their own 34. Over to Reggie Wayne. A gain of 6 up to the 40. They've been able to control things a little bit better. That Tennessee defense in the second half. They were quite proud of the fact that, you know, when they met on December the 9th down in Nashville, they held the Colts to only 9 second-half points, almost pulled up a big 21-0 down at one-time comeback.
Yeah, what I like so far, what Tennessee has done today that I haven't seen as much of during the year, just more variety. They're not making it easy for Peyton Manning, changing up the looks, making him hold it just a half a second longer, helps the D-line.
After the first catch of the half to Wayne, by Wayne, it's Tammy to the Tennessee 45 in a first down. Picks up 15.
Well, what they do, they switch positions. They put Tammy on the outside. Usually that's Reggie Wayne or a wide receiver coming underneath. And since they run it this way, it clears out the people inside because they're worried about the other receivers going down the field. Excellent changeup by the Colts. That was their favorite play that all the NFL teams that play them call the Indy play.
First down from the Tennessee 45, and they're pointing at...
Start offense, number 81. 5-yard penalty. It's first down.
Brody Eldridge, rookie out of Oklahoma. Flag for that one. Another update. James Brown.
All right, Jim, take a look here. Aaron Rodgers to Greg Jennings. The big play here where the Packers finally get a touchdown, a 46-yarder down to the 1-yard line. Sets up a Rodgers to Donald Lee touchdown pass. It's now 10-3. Green Bay. Back to Jim Nantz and Phil Simms.
All right, JB, and a Green Bay win would put them at Philadelphia next week as Dominique Rhodes does some hard running for 8.
I think you said it right. Hard running by Dominique Rhodes. And he just waits. A veteran running back waits, sees the little lane to the backside, and then cuts into it and gets good, tough yards. But Kyle DeVan, Jeff Saturday, the center, this whole line run blocking better. Why? Because they do it more now than they did 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Second down and 7. Rhodes again. Cuts back a little bit. Able to slash to the 38 for 4. They're talking about all these scenarios, and again, the Colts, will they be the 3 if they win? Yes, they would. If they lost and backed their way in, thanks to a Jacksonville loss, they'd be at a 4. Got a little tongue-tied earlier. I didn't want to say probably. They could possibly be playing New England in the divisional round down the line. Don't ever overlook that Baltimore team that's sitting there at 12-4. Didn't win the division today, lining up behind the Steelers, but they will be the 5 seed in the playoffs and so dangerous for a Big 12 win season. 3rd and 3. Peyton just releases it. He's got his arms out. Doesn't know exactly what happened. It was over the head of Blair White.
Well, because they made a mistake on the blitz pickup. He's yelling at the right tackle. Ryan Dean goes inside. Nobody goes outside. It wasn't going to matter. There were 2 guys for 1 to block. And Peyton has to get rid of it quick.
Well, they're going to go for it here. They're showing it on 4th down. 38-yard line of the Titans.
If I was the Titans, I would sit tight. Will he try to draw you off sides? Or maybe a wide receiver screen?
To the 35 for the first. And that'll give it to him. Tammy taken off down to the 18-yard line. There is a flag.
It's going to be on the offense, I think.
Would wipe out a 20-yard gain.
Pass interference, offense, number 84, pushed off. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
They went back to the play. We saw him run a few plays ago, Jim. Jacob Tammy outside. Top of your screen. Oh, he extends his arms and knocks Chris Hope right down. Chris Hope is right in front of him. He's allowed to stay there. You have to work your way around him. And Jacob Tammy extended his arms, and when you do that, it makes it an easy call.
Jacob Tammy getting all this time with Dallas Clark on IR. I mean, some of the luminaries they have of the 17 on injured reserve. There is Dallas. 100-catch guy, and right there with Reggie Wayne, Peyton's favorite targets. But Bob Sanders, Collie, Gonzalez, just 4 of the 17 that are done for the year. They went for it on 4th and 3, but not on 4th and 13, of course. Mariani comes up and has the fair catch at the 20. It's the 28-yard punt. 20-20, 4th quarter. 4th quarter and 8:17 to go, and the game is tied 6-9. Tennessee trying to do its part to help settle things in the AFC South, as Collins is able to get it in time to Johnson, who tumbles out to the 33, gain of 13.
Well, it's just an excellent job by Kerry Collins. Gets a little pressure, knows how to move in the pocket, but the defense, as I've said before, man, Chris Johnson, when he catches the football, you got to break down on the defensive side and make sure he makes one guy miss. It can be a foot race.
First down and 10. And it's Cook. Francisco with him. And a gain of 9. Mike Heimerdinger, the offensive coordinator for the Titans. Boy, I tell you, how he has been able to march on, battling cancer, been undergoing treatments, still not missing games.
Well, he's not missing meetings either. Been at the facility basically every day, putting into 12-hour days, which is a short day for an NFL coach. But he's hoping next week that he's going to get the okay that all is clear and get back to a normal life.
We wish him well. 2nd and 1, and there's flags thrown as Collins was stuffed. Chris Johnson.
Holding, offense, number 64. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Called on Leroy Harris.
Yeah, Leroy Harris, the left guard, pulling around. He's just going down. That's Gary Brackett to just get so low. Well, they say low man wins in football. Nobody was getting below Gary Brackett that time.
Heavily penalized team this season. Moss bounces out to the outside. How about Kerry Collins today? Has the most passing yards in his 5 years at Tennessee. 290 so far. And more. What a play. Tryon comes up. Makes the hit on Jared Cook.
Yeah, when they play this defense where the safeties are back, you always have to be alert for the corner coming off his receiver and making these kind of hits. Jared Cook walking off the field.
We've got a Colts player down. An injury timeout. We'll be right back. Justin Tryon of the Colts was able to walk off after making that rather dramatic tackle of a much larger man, Jared Cook. Cornelius Brown comes in for him. 3rd down and 5. Collins under pressure. That was Freeney who forced the incompletion.
Well, they're down to defensive backs. They couldn't even bring in an extra defensive back this past play because of Tryon being hurt, and Dwight Freeney one-on-one. That time he won the battle. Well, there they go. They got linebackers. They're just dropping back. 3 linebackers underneath, but it doesn't matter because the pressure by Dwight Freeney.
With Tryon out, maybe he'll come back, but Hayden inactive today with a neck injury. They're kind of thin back there in the secondary. Ball coming back to the Colts. Fair catch by Blair White at the 13. Here's tonight on CBS. It all begins with 60 Minutes, followed by new episodes of CSI Miami and Undercover Boss, then another CSI Miami. Tonight only CBS. 48-yard punt by Kern. It's Peyton and the Colts back at the 13.
Wow. Peyton Manning, 5 more completions. That's unbelievable. I'm looking at it thinking, that's not attempts. 444 completions for a year.
And that's factoring in Breeze's 23 completions earlier today against Tampa.
Right.
He broke his own record of 07, did Breeze. 5 completions the rest of the way by Peyton. They'll have the single season mark. There's one. Garcon for 7.
This is just, I said it earlier, but what a great weapon on the offensive side. They throw it out there so quick, and I said it, he's accurate with all these wide receiver screens. They know how to block it. And what a way to pick up 7 and 8 yards. It's like stealing.
2nd down and 3. Down in Houston, time is running out on Jacksonville. A dive. And he's able, with Mike Pollock right with him, his right guard, able to fall probably for a 1st down. So here's what's going to happen. Unless Jacksonville pulls up a miraculous comeback with 3.5 to go. Indianapolis, if it wins this game, so the Jacksonville loss looks like it's going to happen first. It's going to give the division title to the Colts. Now, if they win this game, they'll be the 3 and will host the Jets next week. If they lose, and again, have already won the division, in theory, Jacksonville doesn't make that big comeback, it would be Indianapolis hosting Baltimore next week. 1st down and Manning on the run. Getting to his feet and then dropping it is Garcon. Able to recover for a moment, but then gets to his feet and can't hang on.
Yeah, what a job McCourty has trying to cover Garcon on that play. An excellent position as he goes down the field, but of course he has no idea Peyton Manning has escaped out of the pocket. And that play could have been not the game winner, but it could have been close.
Peyton running around like he did last week against the Raiders to seal that game on a naked bootleg. 2nd down and 10. And that's incomplete. Reggie Wayne looking around saying, wait a minute, Finnegan, where's the flag? He was all over me. No flag.
Yeah, Jim, you bring up a great point. If it was the other way around, they would call these penalties on the defense. But Cortland Finnegan, oh, he's in perfect position. He did put his right arm out there a little, Cortland Finnegan. But there was also some pushing and pulling by Reggie Wayne.
So just like that, it's another third down for the Colts inside of 5 minutes. Need to get to the 33 for a first. Nowhere close. They cover that well.
You've got to give credit to the coaches on the sideline. Chuck Cecil, Jeff Fisher both started jumping up and down, and they changed the coverage. They went from a man-to-man coverage where that screen would have been great to a zone where there was no chance it was going to get 10 yards.
Cecil's defense holds the Wayne catch to only a yard. So on 4th and 9, McAfee back out.
What a beautiful punt.
Mariani at the 27. Tries to slide to the outside, and Anger is there. They cover that well. 49-yard punt, 3-yard return. That's all. So the game's been tied at 4 different points. Wayne had a touchdown. Collins came back. Hooked up with Britt. Manning to Garcon. Then Collins to Johnson. Game's tied at 20. Down in Houston, they're at the 2-minute warning. And Houston's still up 17.
Boy, both quarterbacks today, excellent. That's the word for it. Excellent decision making.
There's Johnson. Patient at the start of that run. Pushing around some of his offensive linemen, trying to find a little seam. Picks up 2.
You know, I just think, and you know, Mike Heimerdinger has played he's called a good game today, but you got to be aggressive here. And I think when you play the Colts, you try to steal yards and scores by throwing it on 1st and 2nd down. Even though you got, yes, one of the best running backs in the NFL. But I think a lot of times this year, he's had success because teams start worrying about these wide receivers.
2nd and 8. With 3:20 remaining. Paul able to scrounge out about 3 on that one. Kenny Britt not able to go for a good chunk of this second half with the groin injury that occurred. I think it was a little bit of an awkward kind of twist. And after he caught the touchdown, kind of lurched for a moment.
And you could tell by watching Tennessee, there were many plays in this game plan to throw it down the field to Kenny Britt, and they were having success.
With 2:45 to go, a crucial 3rd down for the Titans. Collins pass wobbles incomplete as the Colts brought in that tandem, Freeney and Mathis, to force that incompletion.
You got to give Larry Coyer, defensive coordinator, a lot of credit here. When it's on the line, they are bringing the heat. And Robert Mathis so wide that Dave Stewart had no chance of getting out there with the crowd noise and one-on-one. Good defensive call.
Once again, the snap by Matthews. Just brought up from the practice squad a couple of weeks ago, and now emergency long snapping duty as well. Good snap, good punt inside the 20 to Blair White, 48 yards.
Jim, I'm going to say this. The Indianapolis Colts, yes, Peyton Manning, but what would worry you about playing them in the playoffs now? Their defense. With Larry Coyer, they do so much more than they have in years past. Tough to game plan against them.
Interesting dilemma here. Not anything they're even thinking of, but if you're a Colts fan, you're sitting out there and say, okay, this Jacksonville thing, they're not going to pull off their end of the deal. Our team, they're saying the Colts are going to win the division. Now, do the Colts fans, the Colts players, the Colts team, do they want to play Baltimore here next week, or do they want to play the Jets? You win, you play the Jets. If you lose, you play the Ravens.
The players can't figure that out now during this game.
No, I know that. I said they weren't.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Of course, they would be thinking of that right now, trying to win a game here at the 20, and that's Garcon. I'm saying, again, from the Colts fans' perspective, who would you rather play?
Are you looking for me to answer that from the fans'
perspective? It's an interesting, yes. 60 minutes for those of you expecting 60 minutes. We'll be joining that immediately after this game, except for those of you on the West Coast. 2:23 to go. That was for no gain to Garcon. 2nd down and 10. Henry has the catch at the 35. So they get out of that inside the 20 jam and get a little breathing room as we approach the 2-minute mark.
Yeah, pressure defense. Nobody on Jacob Tamme. To answer your question, Jim, nobody's a bargain. That would be my answer. They both present a lot of problems.
2-minute warning. Those are two tough road teams in the wild card round. Any way you slice it. 2-minute warning. 1:56 to go here at Lucas Oil Stadium. Jim Nantz, Phil Simms. The game tied at 20. Manning trying to engineer a game-winning drive in the last 2 minutes. A very familiar script. Zone in traffic, and the ball comes out. Incomplete. Big hit there, leveled by Michael Griffin. It's interesting, they've been providing the audience here at Lucas Oil Stadium with updates of the Jaguars situation, and that's all but over. Manning rifles it, a beauty to Reggie Wayne at the 48.
Well, the defensive line, it's only 4 of them this time, no blitz. It's just so all out. Look what it allows Peyton Manning to do. Step up into the pocket, nobody around him, and he makes a perfect throw outside.
It's a draw, and that's Wilkes with the ball coming out. The Titans have picked it up. It's Griffin with the football. Carelessly handling it for a moment there, and then dragged down at the 36 of Indianapolis. Dominique Rhodes had a good gainer, and then the ball came out.
It looked like it came out before he went down. And just by watching his body language, he's not saying, hey, I was down. Number 30, Dominique Rhodes. Oh, his knee is up in the air. And also, even there was no contact to send him to the ground. So the ground could have caused a fumble if nobody touched him on the way down. But you said it right, too. Griffin with the football. Know the situation. Keep it tight to the body.
No question about that being a fumble. Of course, inside the 2 minutes, that would be a booth review, but it's not necessary. The Titans have it at the 37.
Indianapolis with 2 timeouts.
And the Titans with all 3. Jacksonville has just lost. The Colts have won the division as we speak. So that's Chris Johnson to the 34. Houston doubles up the Jaguars, and the Colts have won the AFC South Division for the 7th time in 8 years. A timeout called by the Titans with 1:30 to go. They have 1 timeout remaining. I mean, it's called out by, actually, timeout by Indianapolis. Beg your pardon. So the Colts still are in the playoff for the 9th straight year. You know, you don't want to walk out of here, though, backing your way in, losing a home game. But they're in. They'll either, again, with a win here, they would host the Jets. If the Titans beat them, they will host the Ravens. Randy Moss to the right. Washington to the left. 2nd down and 7. Ball's out. And now it's the Colts who recover. Mathis falls on it. Unbelievable. We didn't have a turnover all day, and then we get 2 lost fumbles, one by each side in the last 2 minutes.
Well, what was Kevin Matthews? I'll be interested to see. Who is he blocking? He's going to his left. A lot of times when the center is going to his left, the football goes to the right, and that's what looks like what happened.
Was it a center mistake there, Phil?
Well, the football comes out. You got to know the blocking assignments as a quarterback, and you got to stay under there when they're trying to reach block. And Kevin Matthews was definitely reaching and going to his left.
Matthews asked to do a lot today, coming off the practice squad just a couple of weeks ago, getting his first start today for an injured Fernando Velasco, and having to also add the long snapping chores because of an injury to Amato. And that's incomplete to a die. Green Bay has held on to beat the Bears, so the Packers are in. The Packers eliminate the Giants and any chance there for Tampa Bay as well. So it'll be Green Bay at Philadelphia next weekend. Green Bay the 6, Philly the 3.
Tennessee's been aggressive all day. There's no reason not to be right now.
Second down and 10. Blair White turns around to make the grab right in front of Verner. And the Colts move to the Tennessee side of the field with the clock running, nearing a minute.
Time is just not a problem. Excellent throw by Peyton Manning. Blair White knew he was going to throw it behind him.
A dive. Skips inside the 40 and down to the 37, and they are, well, they're pretty close to having enough distance here to even give Vinatieri some sort of try, albeit long distance.
I think the Tennessee Titans have to think about using their timeouts, or they're just going to take a chance and hope they hold the Colts right here.
Tamming to the 25 with 30 seconds to go. Manning has the single season completion record. And the Colts are in position to win this game and take the number 3 seed away from Kansas City.
Of course, they're going to let it run down now and just try to kick the winning field goal.
3 seconds to go. It'll be a 43-yard field goal try to win it. Let's go to New York with an update.
Hey, Jim, you said it. Here's how Green Bay did it. Nick Collins picking off Jay Cutler. So Green Bay wraps up the win over the Chicago Bears. And as you've indicated, they're into the postseason and will play Philly. Let's take you back to Indy. Jim Nance and Phil Simms.
Of course, the Bears, thank you, JB. They're secure at the number 2 seed and a week off before they reappear in the divisional round. Here we go. Jeff Fisher, will this be the last play of his tenure, great tenure in Tennessee? The coach that would have no problem landing somewhere else in this league, so highly respected. His team hard-fought effort here today. It's Vinatieri from 43 yards for the win. They've already won the division because Jacksonville lost. This would bring New York here next week. McAfee gets it down. Vinatieri's kick. It is dead center. The 3 seed belongs to Indianapolis. And when they won the Super Bowl back in the 06 season, they were a number 3 seed. Vinatieri, Mr. Crutch, his whole career in the end, wins it from 43. All set up by the fumble when it looked like the Titans might win this one on the road.
Yeah, that snap went a little to the right side. I think that's one of the big reasons why Kerry Collins fumbled it. Vinatieri, you said it. It is dead down the middle, but the play in that drive, the throw from Peyton Manning to Blair White. Then the Tennessee Titans blitzed, lost their discipline, and nobody carried or covered Jacob Tamming.
You know, going back to 1980, coaches who come in and win a division title their first 2 seasons as a head coach, only George Seifert, Barry Switzer, Mike Tomlin, and now Jim Caldwell. So the AFC playoffs are set. A rematch of the AFC Championship game. The Jets at the Colts, and now the Ravens will travel to Kansas City. That's how the AFC is all set up. 23-20 is the final. Indianapolis coming up 60 minutes, followed by new episodes of CSI Miami Undercover Boss and another CSI Miami. For Phil Simms, this is Jim Nance saying so long from Indianapolis. We'll see you playoff time. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.